It's like every season there will be a new action camera coming out, whether it's from the giants like DJI or GoPro or Insta360. They just constantly hype up the camera with campaigns showing the specs. This video is not intended to be a specs breakdown of any of these cameras. It is my practical experience from testing some of these cameras. Now I have to warn you ahead, I'm not the most informed because I don't own the latest and greatest. I don't tend to chase the hype. I use whatever that I own so far, unless a new project demands a certain spec that I need. I don't tend to buy the newer gear. Let me first draw the line at the sand of what's the base requirement that you need. I think it's the GoPro Hero 9 or 10. So far, I've been using these two cameras throughout my whole FPV journey, especially when I started taking projects, and it's managed to give me footage that I'm happy to deliver to my clients. In specs wise, I've never really found myself having to shoot more than 4K 50 frames per second, and that is possible on the GoPro Hero 9 already. What I would say is the line is do not go below GoPro Hero 8, because the GoPro Hero 7, although it's pretty good at most times, it underperforms especially at night. Now, in the bigger picture, I'm making some assumptions here because I don't own all these cameras. I think this is roughly where the line should be. Now, I was at a phase where I was just trying out the different cameras as well. Specifically, the Insta360 1R. I bought the naked version as a backup for my naked GoPro Hero kit, and the footage was hot garbage. It's the kind of footage that when I saw on my phone, I thought, oh, this didn't turn out awesome. I showed to my client and they were like so impressed of the drone movements. And then when I put it on the computer and I tried playing with the colors, it was a mess. The dynamic range is so bad and it looks so unnatural. So definitely avoid that one. I also was looking at one of my friends' DJI Action 2, the little square with the magnetic like things. And I remember running it through my video editor and I tried looking, it didn't look up to par. This is not a get good scenario and you as a better pilot could fly around these problems. It is the problem with the image itself, where the way the camera deals with colors as well as light and the image quality, because the worst thing to do is train so hard to be an excellent pilot and then you deliver the quality of footage that looks like mush. And now let's talk about top end. I was quite surprised that recently I saw that they were selling the DJI Action 4 for about 1,100 ringgit, which is very cheap for a new flagship model camera. And at that time, I was engaged in an FPV project, a TV commercial shoot. So I thought, okay, this is considered somewhat an investment. During recce that time, I flew one after the other, the DJI Action 4 as well as the GoPro Hero 10. And it's so clear to see how far the DJI Action camera has surpassed GoPro in dynamic range. Like the 10-bit color profile and the log profile combined with the bigger sensor gives a much more versatile footage that is higher in detail and higher in dynamic range. And what this does is it gives the colorists more room to play with, to change the color from a cinema camera footage into the action camera footage. Because GoPro footage sometimes has a problem of being immersion breaking because there's the fisheye look to it, as well as the color profile is a little bit flat. And if you put a style on the cinema camera, it's very hard to bring the GoPro footage to cut to the next one naturally. But with all that said, I still have a place in my fleet for the GoPros, because especially the DJI Action 4 doesn't actually have a naked kit for my 2.5-inch drones, which is a huge safety factor, especially if I'm covering events. And speaking about events, the GoPro Hero 9 and 10 has more than enough capability to cut from the GoPro footage to DSLRs like the Sony a7 III, a7 IV or whatnot. As long as your settings are dialed in properly, you probably have no problems cutting from these footages. But when it comes to being on a TV commercial set where I know that I have to pair the footage together with an Alexa LF or something like that, I would probably stick with the higher dynamic range of the DJI Action 4. Unless maybe someday when I learn how to tune that thing properly lah. Anyway, thanks for watching.